All right, everyone. I hope all of you are having a great morning. All right, today is the 31st of October. To all those out there, I wish you a very happy Diwali. All right, may you have all the success, all the happiness in life. All right, today being Diwali, the festival of lights. Today should be a very joyful day. All right, so I hope. I can see Sophia in the group in our chat room. I can see Miss Lee looking forward to today's sharing. I am looking forward too, right? And today being one of the best Indian festivals, right? The festival of lights. Everyone is, dressing in traditional clothes, having sweets, sharing a lot of warmth, and enjoying today's festivities, right? So again, a very happy Diwali to each and every one of you out there, right? I hope everyone is having a great start to the morning, all right? Being the 31st of October, the last day of the month, correct? So during the last day of the month, a lot of, fluctuations take place, right? In terms of technical analysis, the monthly candle is closing. In terms of people who are trading futures and options, the expiry dates are coming on, so on and so forth. So quickly make sure you have anything and everything that is required, right? So make sure you have your pen, paper, tea, coffee, or your spouse next to you if that supports you, to focus on today's live streaming session. All right, so I hope everyone is up and ready, and we are gonna start. All right, so before starting, again, a quick reminder to all you beautiful people in this beautiful community. For people who are still having issues in understanding, they keep informing, my colleagues keep informing me. They tell me that, Harsh, they want to listen to what you're saying during your live streaming session, but sometimes their English is weak. They understand more in Hindi. तो उन सभी के लिए, अगर आपको लगता है कि आपकी इंग्लिश कमज़ोर है और आप चाहते हो कि मैं हिंदी में बात करूं, तो प्लीज़ आप कमेंट बॉक्स में, जो साइड में आपको जो चैट बॉक्स दिख रहा है, और टॉप चैट, द चैट बॉक्स जो है दिख रहा है आपको, वहां पे जाके आप प्लीज लिखिए, प्लीज टॉक इन हिंदी ऑल्सो. Remember, we have a huge community. We're going to have people from all parts of India, from all different levels of experiences. Some being amateur, some being mid-level in terms of having, the background of understanding financials and technicals, and some of them being, on the advanced category. So we have to make sure that we are able to cater to each and every one of you out there. So please do make sure in the comment box, if you want me to talk more in English, press type 1, and if you want me, अगर आप चाहते हो कि मैं हिंदी में भी बात करूं, तो please chat box में 2 लिखिए. all right, number 2. All right, so I hope everyone is ready. Let's start with today's day. All right, so quickly, being the 31st of October, couple of fluctuations taking place, but nonetheless, right, we are trying to focus on what? These current live streaming sessions are based on providing you value, right? The more value we can provide you, the better we are able to generate your trust, right? And that is how we want to keep moving forward. So quickly, make sure to know who's the one who's talking to you, right? It's none other than Harsh, right? So I'm a trader myself. I have 8 years of experience trading the financial markets. I mainly specialize in forex. That's correct, right? The foreign exchange. I also trade gold, silver, different kind of commodities, as well as I look into indices, the US based indices, such as the S&P 500, the Dow Jones 30, the Nasdaq 100. Currently, we are also, scrutinizing and analyzing the Indian share market. So we are looking at the Indian indices as well as the individual Indian stocks. Me being more of a technical trader, I specialize in various technical analysis such as supply demand, trend analysis, order flow analysis, Fibonacci ratio trading, and the list goes on and on. I have, a lot of sectors that I cater into. All right, here we at Dolphin Markets are here to provide you with the most beneficial amount of information that can be provided in terms of analysis, analyzing how the markets are doing, analyzing how the individual stocks are doing. We also provide you with the main most important aspect is trading opportunities, right? I hope people can read today's title of today's YouTube live streaming session. There have been trading opportunities that we have been providing to you since the last month, right? Since September, and we have been doing phenomenal. So our main purpose for you is to showcase our potential, to showcase our credibility in performing. How well we can perform, and for you to see it with your own eyes, right? Because if you can see it with your own by your own eyes, you can believe it by yourself, right? And third but not the least, we also provide you with trading education pertaining to technical analysis. So please, we are giving you an entire basket of benefits. Please make sure to stay tuned for all the live streaming sessions we have. It's starting from Monday till Friday, right? So for 5 days a week, we make sure to provide you with live streaming sessions. I personally make sure to provide you with 3 live streaming sessions every single working day, right? The first live session, as you can all see, that is currently happening, where the markets are up and running. Second but not the least, we have it 1 hour prior to market closure, correct? So, and the third but not the least would be once the market is closed, and then we shift our focus from the Indian share market to the other markets such as the forex and the gold markets, as well as we provide you with trading education. You heard that right, education pertaining to trading, right? Technical analysis. So quickly, let us dive into the hot stocks that we have been having. I hope everyone is aware and clear that we are showcasing our potential for you to have a good understanding of how well we are analyzing stocks, how well we have been maintaining, how consistently we have been providing you. So these are a couple of trades that have been already squared off, have been closed. So just from 18th of September to the current month, to the current end of this current month, we have been sitting at a 97% profitability, right? Does that mean that all the trades are closed? No. There are going to be times when we are going to be having trades that are running, correct? So we are going to be focusing more on what trades are running, how we are going to manage our trades, what trades are doing, better. Because remember, the markets are dynamic, correct? So the markets are going to move up and down, sideways. We are trying to improvise. We are trying to showcase that yes, certain trades might not be doing well, but we can improvise by taking additional positions, correct? Because by taking an additional position, we are able to reduce the average price. I hope people are able to understand. I hope my voice is clear. I hope there is no technical glitch. All right, so this is the current list of hot stocks that we have been provided, but they have not yet achieved target, correct? So let us delve into it and see how the market, how the individual stocks are performing, because our main criteria over here is to showcase our credibility on a real time basis, correct? So please make sure that you stay tuned and stay tuned till the end, because we might provide you with hot stocks based on the market conditions. Remember, based on the market conditions is when we get to analyze how the stocks are performing, and if there are additional trading ideas or trading strategies that we have to share to you, we will let you know. All right, so quickly let's jump on to trading view and start, correct? I'm pretty much sure for people we had we did had provided you with opportunities to look at Hind oil, right? We are talking about Hindustan oil exploration, right? It's an energy, and it's it is responsible for detecting and identifying oil reserves, correct, in India. So currently, based on this particular stock, as you can see, the prices had been correcting, right? I hope people can see my screen, correct? All right. Look at the screen, the way things have been moving. The prices had been correcting. Yes, we had provided a previous trading opportunity at around 218 to 220 level, but since prices were correcting, lower, we were able to identify an area of interest where we had, recommended people to enter at 192. Remember, as the heading of today's talk, there have been certain trading opportunities or hot stocks that have been provided in terms of adding additional trades so that you can reduce the average price, right? You can get a better average price. As you can clearly see, based on Hindustan oil exploration, the place where we had provided you to enter was at around 192 area, around the area where you can see my mouse. Currently, based on where prices are, this stock has already appreciated by 8.19%. So please understand the power that we are trying to bring to the table. For people who had entered previously, remember, we are trying to showcase what trades are have been given, but unfortunately the markets are uncertain. Sometimes they respect the ideas perfectly and they shoot to target, but sometimes based on the overall market sentiment, right? I hope everyone is aware of what the current market sentiment is, still being a little bit on the pessimistic side, where people are expecting a lot of are being a little uncertain about what things are happening. Plus, we have the one of India's biggest festival running, so people are taking a step back, people are relaxing, and people are not entering the markets as of now. But for this particular stock, I hope people have been able to understand that yes, we might be taking trades, and for the markets which are correcting, we can provide additional entries to make back the money. For people who have taken this trade, are already, remember the average price. I hope people can see the screen. The average price, give me a minute. All right. So the average price, as you can see right now, has already been surpassed, correct? So people are making money on Hindustan Oil Limited. I hope people are able to understand. Let me showcase how we are trying to connect the dots, right? I hope people can see my screen. We did provide Hindustan Oil, once, twice, and thrice, correct? I hope people can see my screen. Remember, we have been more active in the last 2 weeks, correct? So we have been doing a due diligence and we have been providing you with, recommendations or hot stock analysis that you should be capitalizing on. Because if a profitability of 97%, right, understand the potential that we are able to offer you, correct? So we had provided you with Hindustan Oil with trading opportunity on 15th of October as well. So that goes back to almost around 2 weeks, correct? Now with the current, right, this trading opportunity has been provided, and it was mainly based on technical analysis because price had come into an area of support or an area where the I okay, one second, sorry, people are not able to see my screen. All right, price has been able to come to an area of interest where the main players, right? The market runs based on banks and financial institutions. People like you and me are very insignificant compared to the big companies out there who are, injecting and flushing out millions and crores of rupees, right, in the markets. So we want to be, we want to be a part of what they do, right? Not against them. Anyways, I hope people are able to understand, and we have been able to get a clear gist about if prices are still going against us, it is okay, no problem. We are here to improvise. We are here to improvise and take action based on the current market conditions, right? And see how this trade is working out perfectly. For people who have taken trade entry area at 192, remember this trading strategy was given a couple of days back, right? Almost around Tuesday. Now that the price has almost appreciated by 10% and has exceeded the average price, we can see that people who had entered previously at 121, 220 should be making money by now. All right. Now coming to the next trading strategy, right? A hot stock that we had provided was G-Dave Plastic. So understand, will all the trades be going positive all the time? Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, but no. the markets are dynamic. The markets are going to go up, down, sideways. There are certain factors that affect the market. There are certain macroeconomic and as well as microeconomic factors that affect the market too. Sometimes the company might have strong fundamentals. Sometimes the company might have the best earnings, recorded, but it has to be, in synchronization with the overall, sentiment of what the markets are, what the index is, what the sectors are doing, so on and so forth. So we have the next one called as Gilde Plastic, right? So this is more into the process industries, right? For people who want to, know more about it, it majorly deals in chemicals, correct? So as of now, based on this current hot stock, we had provided you with an entry at around 295. We did expect prices because the fundamentals were pretty, were showing strength, but unfortunately, nonetheless, the prices are still correcting. So as of now, we would not want to do anything on this. We are trying to cover up with the individual stocks. Then we will try to look at the sector as a whole, right? And then eventually we will talk about how the index, is overall performing. Let us start from the micro picture of the individual stocks. Then let's start to, zoom out to understand, all right, how is the company doing, which sectors are performing well, and eventually, how the overall index is performing as of today. We had looked at Annapurna. Annapurna has been of prime interest because we had provided with two entries. Remember, from a technical perspective, do not worry. We will talk about fundamental perspectives too, right? One thing at a time, correct? All right. So in terms of technical perspective, the prices have been strong. Remember, these stocks are listed on the National Stock Exchange or the Bombay Stock Exchange. So these companies have credibility. They just cannot, keep falling forever. For a company to be listed on the National Stock Exchange or the Bombay Stock Exchange, they need to go through a lot of scrutiny, right? They need to be there is very clear and very strict due diligence, followed by different companies out there, who make sure that everything is up and running, the numbers are good, and the company has strong management and strong future prospects, correct? Now, based on this particular example, we had two trades running. Annapurna being in the consumer non-durables, basically the food sector, still having bearish momentum as and how. Remember, the markets are doing what they have to do, right? We are trying to find out which sectors will be performing well, but first let's cover the list and then we will talk about which sectors are doing. I hope people, we had provided you with Muthoot Finance, Muthoot Microfinance, right? So which is listed on the National Stock Exchange. Now this particular, hot stock was given to you when? Anyone? I hope people are not sleeping. I hope people are, listening, correct? It's very important to understand. People should not be, falling asleep. I hope people are understanding. So coming back to this, right? This particular trade idea was also given yesterday for Muthoot Finance, all right? For Muthoot Finance, this particular stock of entering at around 200 area, people who have entered at this particular, who have taken this trading hot stock, have been doing quite well. The market has literally gapped up to 4.5%, approx 4.3%. So there was a strong appreciation of 4.3% on Muthoot Finance. Yes, there has been an additional trade that was given in the past, but nonetheless, with the average price coming to around 213, 212.5 area, it has been, coming closer to achieving our, break even point, our average price. But for people who have, just taken the trade based on the, the last entry, the most recent entry. Remember, we have people coming in, more people joining in. Some people are very quick in taking action. Some people take a lot of time, right, in taking action by taking the hot stock. By, remember, only once you can, trade that particular hot stock that we are sharing to you is when you can generate profits, correct? So please understand there are, two kinds of people out here. People who listen people who love listening to what I'm talking, but at the same time, they do not take action. And on the other hand, we have people like Sophia, who take action, who listen to our trading opportunities, who listen to our analysis, who take action by taking trades on the hot stocks we provide to you. So Sophia, I still remember clearly, she had been informing us that she has been sitting on approximately 50% profitability in just 1.5 months. That is significant, right? Let me know which one of yous over here are being able to generate those kind of profitability ratios. I'm pretty sure no one is doing that well, right? So if Sophia can do it, remember Sophia is like any one of us, right? So if she can do it, so can you, right? So make sure to take action, make sure to keep following the steps that we are mentioning, and over a period of time you can see the results on your own, right, with your own eyes. So Muthoot Finance was shared to you as a trading opportunity idea, right? Give me a minute. So Muthoot Finance given at an area of 200, where prices had started to, remember, as you can see on the graph, the prices have gapped up by almost 2.3%, right? So when such a thing happens, correct? Imagine, the prices are showing bullish pressure. Yes, currently, as you can see, there has been there has been the structure where prices have started to again have that bearish momentum, but nonetheless when prices gap with such a strong movement towards the upside, that showcases a lot of strength in that particular hot stock, correct? I hope people are able to understand. I hope people are able to connect the dots. Remember, very, very, very important for people who have already taken, we remember we have given an area of around 200. For people who are asking, but Harsh, or they want to know how the hot stock looks, what are the details of the entry and exit, this has happened yesterday. So any queries, any questions, please make sure to get back to my assistant. If you have any doubts, or if you want to understand how does a hot stock look like in terms of entry, exit, if you want any details, you can get back to my assistants, and they will be glad to help you. All right. So certain area of around 200 where the hot stock was given to you as an area of interest for entering, the prices did gap up to have moved by around 4.3%, right? Very close to the 5% target. So see, we can see potential in stocks happening, correct? And for those people who had entered previously at entry one, which was provided to you at around 15th of October, the average price is close by. So understand, some stocks are doing good, some stocks are not doing, some stocks are recovering, and we are trying to cover all the hot stocks that have been mentioned, correct? Then we did talk about RBL Bank. I hope people today's you know the title of today's live stream has been based on RBL Bank. We had provided to you an entry at around 14th of October, give or take, and we did analyze the fundamentals at that time, and they did show potential that yes, the company has. But again, certain banking sectors were not during that phase, during the last even now the banking sector has been, today the banking sector has been on a bearish sentiment, but nonetheless, based on technicals, as we could see, since prices are correcting, we are getting prices, prices are being offered at discount. I hope people are able to understand. So when you get a clear, good, company base having strong numbers, right? Strong balance sheet, strong cash flows, and when you see that the prices are being offered at a discount, we would want to, take opportunity of entering into the markets. Remember, we are not just looking at fundamental, we are looking from a technical perspective as well. Prices did come to an area of interest where previously there was an area where there was some kind of resistance as such, which kind of took out. So a resistance had turned into a support. So we had potential for price when it would come back to that area would start to give us movement, right? And as you can clearly see, let me zoom in and show you the area that we had provided you with an entry area from from the entire movement, right, till where it has gone. It has almost gone by around 10.4, around 10.4% price appreciation, right? In how many days? Just one, two, three, four. This hot stock was provide trading opportunity was recommendation was given to you, at the beginning on Tuesday or Monday, I suppose, and the prices have been, appreciating in value. In terms of people who had taken a trade previously at around the 14th of October, remember we have trades, right, which we are talking. So on 14th of October, 1 minute. 14th of October is when RBL Bank has, we had showcased this particular trading opportunity. Yes, remember, we are doing our due diligence. We are doing our analysis, to the best of our capabilities. But the market sentiment, right? The market factors, not just what Harsh says, correct? The market looks at the entire economy, as a whole, with all the influences taking place, whether macroeconomic, whether microeconomic, and together connected, then, that is what you see on the price chart. But nonetheless, for people who have taken entry around the 167 area, which we had discussed to you, prices on an average have been up, by around 8 to 10%, right? 10% is the entire appreciation in terms of, price from the low to the high, which comes to around 10.4, 10.35. But nonetheless, a profitability of around 5 to 8% for people who did take action by looking at this particular trade idea, by understanding that yes, company is good, the fundamentals are good. We will get into it to understand more, and the prices have started to move well. Then we did talk about IP rings. I hope people remember about what IP rings are. We were planning yesterday, this trade idea was again given. We were planning to enter around 200. As of now, even in terms of technicals, yes, the prices are moving good. We will look at the fundamentals. We want to look more in details for IP rings. Remember, IP rings come in the producer manufacturing. They basically come in the manufacturing, right? Manufacturing of industrial products, right? Another trade that was provided yesterday, which started to show presence of movement to the upside, but again, markets are currently. We are going to understand how the sector how the sector affects the individual stock as well, right? Then we talked about Evantel. For people, I remember Sophia was in this particular trade, and we had, given her an entry area of between 165 and 170 for people who had entered at the earliest. Remember, people, when we provide you with these opportunities, if you take your time of deciding whether to enter, whether to not. We are trying to provide you with valuable information. We are even, going to the extent of making sure you open your brokerage accounts, you open the trade, you place the trade. We are providing you with the ticker symbol on which index it is listed, so on and so forth. We have been telling you to risk 10 to 15% per position size for people who take action quickly, because we had provided a trade idea between 165 and 170, correct? So for people who had entered at the earliest, right, as soon as the hot stock was shared, have already achieved the 5% target. But I remember Sophia had entered a little late, so she was telling her target is somewhere, above. It's going to be at around 176, 178. That is what I remember. But nonetheless, prices are again correcting. So we are making money on this too. Even from the 170 area, we are sitting right now at around 1.45% appreciation, and people who have been able to jump onto it at the best price at 165 have currently been sitting almost at, again, they didn't make 4.5% profit target, but for whatever reason, if they were not able to close, they are again back in green, correct? So they're sitting at around 4.15%. Then we talked about Poonawalla, right? So Poonawalla is a financial corporation. I hope people can, for knowing more about the company, either you can use Google or you can use screener.in or ticker tape, right? These couple of websites are phenomenal when it comes to providing more information about, what the individual stock is. We will dive more into it, right? Remember, we are here to talk. We are here on a regular basis. So our first main priority comes in understanding what trades we are providing to you, because at the end, all our beautiful community is first of all bothered or interested, sorry, our beautiful community is interested in making money, correct? So we want to make sure that everything is on point, which stocks are doing well, what actions to be taken, so on and so forth. Based on Poonawalla, being a FinCorp, in the last couple of days, right, there has been huge sell-off in the markets, right? We will try to analyze first from a financial analysis point of view, and then we'll try to analyze how. But when I had informed you, remember, financial analysis is good for people for who are trying to invest, because you need to understand or select those stocks or those companies who have strong numbers, right? How the cash flows are performing, how the assets are performing against the liabilities, what is the PE ratio, what is the PB ratio, are we having good numbers, are the numbers, within the range, within the required boundaries, where is the company's financials performing overall compared to the sector, so there are so many things. But please understand, all the financial data that analysis that people provide are always lagging. They are lagging because we can never have a financial statement of yesterday or day before yesterday. Minimum 3 months, right? Minimum 1 quarter is what we have. Quarterly earning reports come out where we have a lot of data that has been shared, but 3 months prior. So, right, currently the market is here. If you're going to look at the data, it's going to be lagging. But we will still look into the overall aspect, because we are not just looking only from a technical or only from a fundamental. If we can connect both the dots together, we can get the best possible possibilities, correct? But talking from a technical perspective, very important to understand that I hope people can see the moving average, right? So the moving average is a simple concept which is basically followed on moving averages, is the further or the more away the price goes from the moving average, the higher the tendency for the prices to come back to the moving average. What is a moving average? Moving average is nothing but the average price of the last X number of candles. X stands for the period, right? If I double click on the indicator, I can change the length. So whether it takes into account the last 5 days, the last 20 days, maybe the last 30 days, or the last 100 days. So depending upon that, the moving average is plotted, right? We do not need to plot it. The indicator or automatically plots based on all the calculations. But the simple concept or the simple crux of a moving average is prices tend to be around the moving average. I hope people can see. Anytime price is going, prices always try to be as close as possible to the moving average. Why? Because the moving average is giving you the average price, of the last X number of days. In this particular case, we are talking about 20. So based on the last 20 days, this is what the moving average shows. Now, when price moves drastically away from the moving average, that shows that there is some kind of imbalance between the buyers and sellers. So when you have strong movement of price away in terms of this particular scenario, there is tendency for the price to again return back to the moving average. I hope people are able to understand. The more further away it goes from the moving average, it does come back to the moving average. So that is the concept behind moving averages. I hope people are able to understand, right? And that is exactly what it is. Now this is a huge movement, right, away from the moving average. I hope people are able to understand, right? I hope people are able to connect the dots to understand the bigger picture, right? Now that you can see, with prices being so far away from the moving average, prices have come back, right? What goes away comes back again, correct? And that is what price. But nonetheless, because there was so heavy fall in price, as per 24th, 23rd of October, we were a little skeptical on taking additional trades. But nonetheless, prices are doing what they have to do, right? Now let us quickly look at what the sectors are doing, correct? Now people will be like, but Harsh, how can we connect, a particular stock to a particular sector? It's very simple. If you look at this particular example that we have been talking, right? The today's YouTube handle title has been based on this particular stock. So all you have to do is connect the bank, right? It's a bank. So directly or indirectly, the first thought that comes to your mind is based on what? It's a bank, so it has to be based on the banking and financial services sector. So that is how we start to connect, right? It's based on finance and it's one of the major banks. Then we come and we check on, web pages in terms of, all right, first let's analyze what the fundamentals of this particular company are trying to show. So we go maybe on, we can use ticker tape or we can use screener, right? We will use both to analyze to get a better picture. So I will type RBL Bank. I hope people can see my screen, correct? So I type RBL Bank. So we have, the PE is at 8.99, which is high. Current price right now offered is 175. Either you can look over here or you can look over here. Uh, Currently there is a slight market movement of, depreciation of 0.37%, so on and so forth. Remember, we are trying to look at it from an overall perspective. First, let's look at what the bank financial data are showcasing. So RBL Bank, let us look at in terms of performance currently, because the price has been devaluing, correct? So overall the performance has been negative, correct? Valuation is average, so the value that you are getting, the intrinsic value that you are getting over the price at which the stock is being offered to, is still average, so which is good. Growth is slightly low because currently the prices are falling down, but the profitability is high. The future prospect of, it providing you profitability is very good. Entry point is good, right? Remember, the prices are being offered at a discount. If prices are being offered at a discount, it is a good sign. The PE ratio, right? Price to earnings ratio right now is at 8.95, PB ratio at 0.72. It has a decent dividend yield for people who are interested in yields. Remember, for people, we are mostly into trading, right? It is only for people who are into, long-term investing that, they really care about dividends. But nonetheless, overall sector PE comes to around 17.9. So based on that, the company is at a better PE ratio value, correct? Let's look at the financials. Now, financials are basically based on income, balance sheet, and cash flow, right? I hope you can see it over here. What exactly are we trying to look in the income statement? We are trying to look, is the revenue increasing? What is the what is the main purpose of a company? Whether it is a bank or whether it is a manufacturing company or whether it is an oil refining company or whether it is a FMCG, sector company, it doesn't make difference. Ultimately, the goal of any company is to make money, correct? So we are going to analyze the last couple of years worth of data. Around 3 years is good enough, right? So 2023 was around 12,000, shifting to 15, increasing to 16. So overall, it has been on the revenue has been rising, right? Earnings per share, right? How much is, are we able to earn based on the value of one share? So that also has been appreciating, right, consistently from 15 to 20 with a slight fall of 19, but nonetheless it's still positive and it's in the high values. Then let's come to the balance sheet. In terms of balance sheet, you can look, what are we exactly looking at? Balance sheet, nothing has but two major categories: assets and liability. Assets are those that add value to the company, liabilities are those that are a burden to the company, right? That are, that can hinder the growth of a particular company, but both are required, right? So we just want to make sure that their assets are increasing. From 17 it fell down, okay, but they started, compared to last year, they have risen substantially. So yes, based on 3 years, it's not the right data, but in the last 2 years, the data has appreciated, right, from 8 to 14. In terms of its liabilities, yes, the liabilities are slightly on the higher side with 79,000. But remember, it's a bank, so every sector has its own, significance. You cannot find the same values of fundamental analysis on every sector. a bank deals with money, right? So there is going to be a lot of, influx of money from people, from investors, from traders. So we are going to have a lot of data coming in, correct? So that is how the liabilities are on the higher side, right? Because it's a bank, it's not a product, it's not a company that produces goods and services. It manages funds. So we can understand. And in terms of cash flow, as you can see, based on the last couple of years, we can see that yes, the net change in cash has still appreciated. It had depreciated in the year 2023, but nonetheless, this year has picked up, right? And in terms of free cash flow, the same picture. It had a negative impact in the year 2023, but has picked up back in 2024. So in terms of financial, this company still with good numbers, not the best, but good numbers. And then when we connect it to the overall sector, and then in terms of technical analysis, and then we try to analyze. Sophia is writing, today's market showed mixed performance with both gains and losses. That's right, Sophia. So the overall sentiment for today has been bearish, right? As you can see, almost, we are going to talk more about it. Do not worry. Today's foreign capital is witnessing significant outflows again in the stock market. Not just that, not just the FIs are having, significant exposure to pulling out their fund, but the DIIs are also, trying to mitigate. Do not worry, we are going to talk more about it, right? So I hope we are able to connect the dot. We do look at the overall, financial statements of the company. We even try to understand it from a bigger term perspective in terms of how is it compared to its peers, right? We are talking about RBL Bank, but is it only RBL Bank who is in the banking sector? No, there are many other big short companies as well. Compared to those, you have HDFC at 20, IC at 20, Axis at 13. So in terms of P ratio, price to earnings, the price to earnings ratio, we are having a significant number. PB ratio at 0.72 compared to all the other banking numbers, or to all the other competitive numbers, it has a significant value. With a dividend yield being of a meager 0.85, when HDFC and Axis, when HDFC is giving slightly better dividend returns, correct? So that is how we try to connect the dots, and we are trying to keep showcasing our prowess in terms of making sure that we can provide you with value during the market sessions, right? As and how the market moves, as and how we are coming across opportunities, that's how we are showcasing you. Now, when Sophia has been asking about today's market condition has showed, mixed performance, right? So let me showcase, the overall outlook of how, in terms of the FII. First of all, let's look at the entire sentiment. Remember, let's look at the sentiment. Give me a minute. Let me remove the watermark so people can see the picture that I'm trying to showcase. I hope people can see my screen. This has been today's market sentiment as a general consensus. All right. I hope people are able to understand. Remember, in terms of bullish sentiment, the number, the percentage has been rising. Last week it was at 8 or 9. Today it's at 18. Bearish sentiment last week was around 48 to 50. Right now it's at 41. But still, nonetheless, numbers do not lie. So as per the numbers, as per the entire analysis, Nifty still, if you're talking about Nifty as the entire economy as a whole, right, still has a bearish sentiment. But Bank Nifty and the bank IT sectors are still neutral. Remember, they might be bullish, they might be having bearish sentiment as of today. We will be talking more about it, but overall, as an entire consensus, right, they're still at neutral. When it comes to FIs, right, Sophia has been asking about foreign capital has been witnessing significant outflows, correct? So yes, in terms of the analysis, in terms of the graphical representation, this has been as of 30th October. Remember, you cannot have today's data, right? The markets are running. What we can have, the latest information we can have is of the last 5 days, correct? The last 5 days. So in terms of from 24th of October till 30th, right? Then there was a brief moment during 28 and 29 when the markets had, reduced the FIIs, the foreign institution investors had reduced their intensity of flushing out funds from the Indian economy. But at the same time, even the DIs had, reduced their intensity. But still, the since FIIs hold, larger capitals and have more influence on the Indian economy. But recently, yesterday, there has been quite significant movement again. Based on the size, you can see that yes, there has been significant movement of FIIs pulling out funds from the economy, but the DIIs have also come in quite significantly as well. So overall, the numbers are still mentioning a deficit of 4,613 crores with an influx of 4,500. So still having bearish sentiment, right? The numbers 4,600 is bigger than 4,500. So, but still, nonetheless, they're quite neck to neck, I would say, in terms of, because when you're looking at an economy that has tens of thousands of crores, right? So a number as meager as a few hundred crores here and there should not make much of a difference, right? When it comes to today's sector, now we were talking just about what our current portfolio in terms of the current hot stocks that we can improvise on, or certain decisions that have to be taken. We have informed about those, but in terms of the overall market sentiment, right? What the entire economy as a whole is doing. Let us focus on that now. So, see, that is how when we talk about Nifty and Sensex, they have been showcasing what there has been bearishness, sorry, coming into the market, right? So, quickly, let's look at the entire, movement of price in terms of, so basically the price, right? For Nifty, for Sensex, it has been down by 0.19. For Nifty, it has been down by 0.02. Still, less significant compared to the other days. And since we have, there is going to be some volatility because of Nifty options. Remember, they have their expiry today. Generally, the expiry lasts at the end of the month, correct? So today being 31st of October, we are going to have more fluctuation based on, for people who are into options, right? You have the expiries coming in today. And 8 out of 30 constituent stocks on the Sensex were trading higher. Just 8. So the remaining companies have, so the majority of them are still having bearish sentiment. I hope people understand. We had Lawson Tubro, right? A very strong infrastructure company, right? Almost up at 5.1. Then another pharmaceutical company, Sun Pharma, an energy sector, Power Grid, Tata Steel. Some of them were good, but some of the losses were held by Tech Mahindra, Infosys. Tech Mahindra is the automobile industry. It comes under the automobile industry sector. Infosys, TCS, they come under the IT sector, right? So that is one of the reasons why today's IT sector, especially today, yeah, there has been a deficit in the IT sector. So we were talking about the BSC where only 8 out of 30 stocks are on the green, but on Nifty we have around 22 out of 50. So the remaining companies, right? How many? 28 stocks are still in red, 22 stocks are in green, right? With gains led in the pharmaceutical company, right? Cipla is a pharmaceutical company. Again, Lawson Tubro, BPCL, Motorcorp, while losses were capped. So again, the IT sector, right? Infosys, Shriram Finance, the IT and the financial services sector. HDFC, again another financial service sector. So it is the IT sector. Based on the above two data, that is how the IT index overall has been falling by 1.72, right? I mean, a huge catalyst for today's fall has been because of the degradation of price in Infosys, right? And some of the top gainers were, the healthcare and the pharma, right? That's what we were telling, based on Cipla, Sun Pharma, so on and so forth. And overall, broad markets have been, flat. Um, and these have been the data for now, right? Just look at a quick look at what the index overall. Yes, again, it's coming into a quick and a strong area of From a technical perspective, we are looking at it coming to a strong area of support. Remember, we want to look at it from all angles so that we can get a better picture. Has been reacting and we expect, the prices to hold. Now looking at the sector perspective, let us look at what the sectors are doing. Give me a minute. So in terms of sector, let's have a quick look. Let us go to the web pages to see. I hope people can see my screen, correct? All right. So I hope, Sophia, that answers your kind of query that you have. Yes, still TFIs are pulling out again for some of the reasons. The most of the companies who have been coming out with their earning two reports, right? Quarterly earning reports have not been performing well. Still, there's a lot of geopolitical uncertainty going on, and with the festival of lights, people are having a holiday season. Remember, it's the holiday season in India. People are wanting to spend time with their friends and family members. So, I mean, why would people be sitting on the share market right now? Correct. So, all these factors together are, currently seeing or currently having a bearish sentiment, right, on the Nifty as well as the Sensex. In terms of today's sector, as you can see, from a daily perspective, we got diamond, electricals, photographic. We talked even about pharma, which is doing quite well, infrastructure, footwear. But on the opposite side, we have the software and the IT companies which are not doing well. So let us try to look at it from an overall perspective. Like we talked about our finance sector right now. Even as you can see, the finance sector over here right now has a neutral stance. So the trades that I hope people can see my screen, right? All right. So the finance sector is right now having a neutral sentiment in terms of, and that is the reason where we are like, if the sector has a neutral to a bullish sentiment and we have trading opportunities on stocks, that we are providing to you, they work fantastically well. But on the other hand, if you have certain stocks in which the sector is not performing well, then we have not we do not have conducive environment to look for trades in those stocks because the sector is not performing well. Correct. The finance sector still has a neutral sentiment, so we are still okay with it. And that is the reason we were looking at it from an overall perspective, right? That's how we were giving you trades on RBL Bank and Muthoot Finance, correct? Healthcare sector has been good at 0.97% appreciation. Oil and gas has been also, at a 0.08 appreciation, but with a lot of uncertainty going on, right? A lot of geopolitical events going across the globe. So that is having a hard impact on the oil and gas industry, right? A lot of oil tankers are being targeted. There has been, a cutoff of oil supply in Russia. So there is a lot of uncertainty in terms of geopolitical events, and due to which we have issues on the oil and gas markets as well, and the list goes on and on. So currently, if you look at it from based on the trades that we are currently having, we mainly have it on the banking sector, we have it in the infrastructure sector, in the manufacturing sector, and we have it in the oil sector. So that is one reason, right, when people were asking like, why has there been such a strong downfall? Remember, it is boiling down to the oil sector as well. Yes, India's economy is independent, it is not dependent on other economies, but like I keep emphasizing, all economies in the world are interconnected. So in terms of price fluctuations, in terms of geopolitical events, if one country is having some kind of uncertainty going on, it does affect the other economies as well. All right, I hope people are able to understand. Please make sure the content that we are trying to provide you, we want to showcase our trading potential, right? We are providing you with hot stocks which have done phenomenal. Remember, We are not, just talking about, all right, we are hitting 97 profitability in the last 1 month. That itself is a huge feat of accomplishment as well. But please understand that we are not just trying to focus on, we are trying to showcase our credibility, but at the same time, the trades that are running, people are like, okay, you only focus on the trades that have made profit. What about the trades that are not, are not performing as good as well? That is exactly what we are trying to do, right? We look at the markets, we look at the individual stocks that we have, looked for trades. Then we go on to trading view, we analyze the markets, we look at the fundamentals, we look at the technicals, we look out for articles that can connect, the entire picture. Remember, we are trying to connect as many dots as possible. And we can provide you with trading opportunities, but the market sentiment keeps fluctuating. We today, let me show you an example. All right, let us talk about Poonawalla FinCorp itself, correct? So Poonawalla FinCorp, right? If I had to go back and zoom out and tell you about, all right, remember at this time the banking and the finance sector was doing phenomenal. During that time, during that the last week, the top performing sector had been the IT and finance sector. So if they were doing so well, why did Pune Corp fall so drastically? Remember, it cannot always just boil down to the performance of the company, to the performance of this sector. It also boils down to how the management has. Was there a dispute in the company? Was there some dispute in the top management of the company? So there are many factors to keep into consideration. The sector was good. Let me write it down. The sector was overperforming, right? The the finance and banking sector was overperforming during this week. All right, I hope people are able to understand. the finance and the finance and banking sector was overperforming, so they were doing good, but the individual stock price fell, because of mismanagement, or they had some disputes going on. That is the reason. Please understand, we are trying to connect as many dots as possible, and for whatever reason, the best options to manage risk, there are only three, correct? You can either wait patiently for the prices to come back, but that will take a lot of time and it requires a lot of patience. Second is by adding trades to reduce your average cost, right? And third is by looking at other international markets, right, like the forex and gold markets, where the returns are much more better. Sophia is writing, the Nifty IT is down over 3%. Why have IT stocks slipped in trade today? Let us find out, Sophia. First, we understand from the sector, perspective in terms of, all right, why the sector is, performing bad. Let us look at it. Software and IT is almost at 2.48 deficit, right? So some of the big companies, Genesis, Oracle Finance, Equinix, let's look at it more detailed. Certain, the gainers have been, but the losers have been more substantial in terms of the value. Persistent company. Let us look at persistent systems, almost having a 5.5%, deterioration in price. Equinix, like the ones we had seen on the graph, is at -5. Dense in tech. Majority of those companies are not performing well. And one of the major reasons for that is for what I hope people are aware that the US elections are just around the corner. Let me, 1 second. For people who are not aware, for them, so the US elections are just around When are the US elections taking place? The US elections are taking place on 5th of November. So I hope people are able to understand. And the IT sector is, you know, highly dependent on US markets, correct? So I hope people are able to understand. The you have, the elections coming across, right? The elections are coming across the next week on 5th, and the IT sector is very dependent on the US markets. Remember, a huge chunk of the revenue that the Indian IT sector generates is based on the consumption from the American customers, right? So with IT stocks, with we're going to talk about the US elections in our third live streaming session, so there will be more discussion on that. But when you are looking at, why there is a degradation, there has to be one of the reasons is definitely going to be about, maybe we have Mr. Trump who's leading right now, right? The reports were also showcasing that Trump has taken the lead by, almost a percent, by 1%. There is stiff competition going on between Kamala Harris and Trump, right? So yesterday, I remember clearly that Mrs. Kamala Harris was up by 1%. Today, I read in the morning that the article was showcasing that now Trump is again, with all the uncertainty going on, and as and how the days are coming closer. Today being the 31st of October, stock options expiry dates are, being triggered today. So people are going to be, making sure in order either to take decisions, square off trades, and that could be one reason why, the IT sector would be performing bad. Let me just type and check the Nifty IT sector. Remember, we had talked about this yesterday also, right? We had informed about how the impact of the US elections can affect the IT index, because the IT index depends heavily on the USA market. I hope people are able to understand. And that is one of the significant reasons that first it has to be the month end, right? 31st of October, a lot of closures taking place in terms of expiry. The markets, before the market closes, right now the time is 12:12. By 3:15 p.m., there will be more volatility in terms of what has to be taken care of, because with the weekend coming in, remember Diwali, people are having, India's celebrating Diwali. There is less liquidity in the markets as well. When holidays take place, whether in the USA during Christmas and New Year's, whether in India during certain festivals like Holi, Diwali. So there is going to be, what do you call? There is going to be less involvement of people in the market. With less involvement of people in the market, the liquidity shrinks. So the movement where prices move in a healthy market, where there is good amount of volume, good amount of liquidity, that starts to shrink. So now there is less volume required to move the markets heavily. Elections are around the corner. So these are some of the factors that have to be taken into consideration, and most importantly, based on, uh, a lot of companies, especially in the IT sector, right? As you can see, uh, give me a minute. Oh, this viral, I swear, when your nose gets blocked and you can't even, you have to talk from your nose. Uh-huh. In terms of, 1 second, why is it not opening? IT, 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 IT. Who gets annoyed, when you have so many ads coming in, and now then it, starts to get, quite annoying. 1 second, why cannot I see the IT sector? Here it was somewhere. So it's basically companies, some big shot companies, Persistent, then you have Econis, then you have Dynstein. These companies with an overall, drawdown of almost 5% per company. The weightage of the companies, right, in the IT sector are taking a toll, and that is one other reason why the IT sector is taking a huge hit. I hope people are able to understand. I need to make sure that I'm keep, informing you again and again that our main purpose of providing these live streaming sessions is to, first of all showcase that yes, we are able to perform consistently. We are able to perform significantly in the markets, right? 97 percentile profitability in a span ranging from 18th of September to today, right? 31st of October. So in a span of 1.5 months, we have done quite significantly, almost achieving a profitability of 97 with current trades running, and that is where our focus is. We want to showcase you our credibility on a real-time basis, right? So we have trades that are running, that are trades that are currently not performing well, but we want to keep improvising and showcasing what to do, how to make money, what are the trades that are running, how are they doing well, and if they're making the 5% target, we want to make sure, and we will make sure, I will make sure, my team of assistants will make sure to remind you, to notify you when the targets are approaching the 5% target, so you can keep making money. Remember, this particular trade, uh, this particular analysis sheet that we are showcasing you, is basically for you to test. It's basically for you to see on a real time basis that yes, we have been able to, perform quite significantly, and we want to showcase our potential that we bring to the table in the English share market. Remember, we at Dolphin Markets are not here, the English share, let me put it this way, the English share market is just a small part of our services that we are offering. We have, catering to a bigger market, right? The forex markets, the gold silver markets, correct? With our offices established in Hong Kong, in UK, and in Australia, we have been doing quite significantly well. With our current intention to enter the Indian markets, we want to generate the trust of, you beautiful people, by showcasing that if we can perform well in the English share market, we can perform much, much better in the international markets. I hope people are able to understand the power that we are bringing to the table, right? We have trades that have been closed at a 97 profitability, right? Almost around 27 trades that have been taken in a span of approximately 1.5 months, which have been squared off and which have been able to generate a 97 profitability. Having said that, we do have other trade ideas which are currently running. We do have our portfolios with different set of trades which are running, and each and every time we will make sure to analyze those trades during the market hours, during what the markets are trying to showcase you, how the markets are performing. We let you know what decisions are to be taken, when to close, what profit to be taken at, what position size to be taken at, so on and so forth. I hope people have understood, the importance. I can do a lot of talking, I can give you a lot of analysis, but eventually the main reason why people are attending this particular live streaming session is to showcase our potential to you, and for you to see that yes, is Dolphin Markets really that good? Is Dolphin Markets able to stand to its reputation of providing some of the best results? Remember, all the results that we are showcasing you, right? All the results that you can see right now on your screen, in terms of the profitability, has not been made on one or two or even three trades. It's been made consistently, right? I hope people can see my screen. There is a number where my mouse is, number 27. 27 trades over a span of 20, or over a span of around 1.5 months, have been able to generate a profitability of 97 percentage. So please understand, the power we bring to the table. Make sure to keep following us. Make sure to keep attending to all our live streaming sessions, right? We have it all the way from Monday till Friday, right? I make sure to provide you 3 live streaming sessions every single day. We always go back to the markets. We do analyze what the markets are doing, how the markets are behaving, how the sectors are behaving, how the overall index. Remember, what is an index? Index is nothing but the it's a measuring tool of how the economy is doing in the how the Indian economy is performing. So if the sectors are good, if the index is bullish, the economy is very great. If the index is bullish, the economy is doing great. If the index is kind of bullish, the economy is currently a little uncertain, right? So we are going to have, remember, the markets are going to move in only two direction, in three direction. Either the prices can go up, the prices can go down, or the prices can go sideways, right? So we want to try to, showcase our potential in terms of, showing you again and again on a daily basis how well we are able to perform. How are the stocks performing? Which stocks are performing well, like Hind Oil. Remember, we talked so much about this. Hind Oil is doing so well, and for people who are taking action, who are opening their brokerage account, who are placing trades, who are taking the initiative to, to take action, only they can make money in the financial markets. I hope there is no one in this group who tells that, Harsh, we want to make a lot of money, but we want it without any, effort. We do not want to take any effort. We just want to make money. I'm sorry for all those people, but that is not how, the markets work. That is not how life works, right? Even if you want to achieve anything in life, you have to focus on, putting in the effort, right? You have to put in the energy, you have to put in the effort to make the impossible possible, right? So we are here to provide you with that service. We are here to show you that yes, it is possible to make good returns in the financial markets, and we are gonna make sure that we will be, attending, or we would be organizing everyday live streaming sessions to showcase you on a daily basis how the markets are doing, what the sectors are doing, what the overall economy is doing based on the indices, and as and how you will understand that yes, if the markets are doing such phenomenal, we are providing you such phenomenal results even when the overall index is still bearish. I'm like, imagine we are able to provide you with a potential of making around 97 profitability when the market, when the economy is bearish. I mean, so think about it. I mean, you are making money when the economy is bearish, and if you are able to do so well in the Indian share market, imagine what we can bring to the table, once we delve into FX and gold markets, right? Remember, Dolphin Markets is a platform provider. It's a brokerage service provider. We are, not just looking at the. We have just entered the English share market to, to attract the customers, to attract beautiful people like you, to understand by providing you with value at zero cost. There is no other company out there who is providing you with such significant performances at zero cost. I mean, there is no other company. Even if a company does exist, they would be charging you a bomb for, providing their services. We being, we being newcomers to the Indian market, we are trying to establish a position by giving you these highly valuable services at zero cost. So I hope people take advantage of this. People understand that if we can do well in the when the economy is falling, and we can do well by providing you with a 97 profitability, we can very well do much better in the international markets where we are already, having significance in the forex and the gold markets. So I hope everyone has had a good time. We did have a good research in terms of how things were, what the economies were doing. We went through each and every individual stocks. We showcased you how the stocks had performed, and overall getting a good gist about why the IT sector is not performing that well compared to, the other sectors due to the uncertainty of the US elections coming in, as well as some of the heavyweights in the IT sector, having approximately 5% depreciation value for, almost majority of their companies out there. So I hope that gives you a clear understanding as to what we have talked about. I hope it has added value, and I hope people have taken the action of taking trades and making money in the Indian stock market. If we can do so well in the Indian share market, we can do we can do much better in the international markets. We can do much better in the forex and gold markets. So I will see you in the second live streaming session. Please make sure to be a part of it. We are going to talk a lot about the upcoming opportunities. And today being the 31st of October, there would be huge fluctuations in price. So we are going to be following how the other sectors are performing, how our hot stocks are performing, what updates have to be taken, so on and so forth. So please make sure to stay tuned for our second live streaming session. We do want to make sure that we can provide you as much information as possible, and we just want you to be a part of us. We want you to be a part of dolphin markets and have a long lasting and meaningful journey, right? So I hope everyone has a good day. I hope people have a good afternoon, and I will catch you up on the second live streaming session. All right, so until then, namaste from my side, and I will see you later. All right, bye, take care.